was working on a PhD in air pollution, which is super niche. I'm going to take you on a journey with me for that. And now I work on clean energy at Google. I've taken some side quests to work at the White House and to work with different public agencies. And
Which White House? Just
the Biden White House. I think there's a Biden White House.
I knew that. I just wanted them to know it.
Just to make it clear, I'm not welcome there anymore, even though my Wi-Fi still connects. Anyways, I'm going to tell you about a fun place I found myself a couple years ago while I was in grad school. So on one side was Elon Musk, Senator Marsha Blackburn, who has a whole agenda against woke, Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports, also hates woke, and on the other side, it was me. Of course, Eric Adams was involved, but his politics, like as usual, remain a little unclear to me. We'll get to that later. I can't crack this man. It was kind of like the Revolutionary War, if you think about it, but with CNN included. There were a lot of protests all over the city. People were chanting things like, "Give me liberty" or "Give me death." And also, it was basically the Boston Tea Party. And so you might be wondering, like, what part of the MAGA agenda I was fighting, if it was, like, the border, or if it was inflation, or World War III. It was none of those things. It was actually way more serious. It was pizza. Straight up. So as academics do, I woke up at noon on one fine Tuesday, and I got this text that said, I'm going to read it for you. "This is Caroline. I want to be sure that when you're speaking with CNN, we don't want the Columbia Climate School to be known as canceling pizza. Let me know if you want to discuss before you speak with Danielle." What? And as any good academic, confronted with something I didn't understand, like as any good academic does in this situation, I went right back to sleep, actually. I woke up a couple hours later, and I was like, let me figure out what's going on. So here, I'm going to give you some context on this text. So I was a grad student, which means that I was at the forefront of my field, but really I was just a baby. I really didn't know what I was doing. But as a result of working on a very niche field and also having done a lot of public engagement and working in government, I often became the face of science when air pollution had to be explained to the media. So this is me explaining the Canadian wildfires on Fox Weather News.
They look really unhappy.
I know. I picked this screenshot for myself.
So stern. Oh my God.
This is my little tiny New York City apartment. I didn't want to show this to New Yorkers, so I dulled it out behind me. I also went on ABC Eyewitness News in much brighter light. You can see all my Broadway playbills. Again, I picked a horrible screenshot of myself because I can do that. But this kind of explained that when CNN needed someone to speak about air pollution, I was the person they reached out to. What they were asking about was this new rule that said that pizzerias with ovens older than 2016, we're going to have to follow the same rules as pizzerias that are newer than 2016 were already following. So,
frankly, you had it coming, so.
No victim blaming here. But really, you should know that this is less than 100 pizzerias, out of the 1,600 registered pizzerias that we are blessed with in the city, and there's many, many more that we don't talk about, but those are great too. So I think it's a pretty small amount of pizzerias that were having to deal with this, and they already had noticed that they were going to have to do this many, many years. This rule was just letting them know that this was coming up. So how can you deal with this? You can get a brand new pizza oven if you want, if you so desire, or if you don't want to do that, you can just put this little scrubber device on top of the emissions of your pizza oven. So this is a very scientific drawing of what that looks like. But you basically stick it on top. It doesn't really change your pizza. It just, reduces the emissions that leave your pizza oven and escape into the world. So that will set you back, one way or another, about $10,000, which sounds like a lot, but based on the math of the pizza on my block times number, that's about 300 pizzas. So I understand that margins in the food industry are slim, but I think that the place on my block that sells bad pizza probably also still sells 300 pizzas per day. So I don't think it's a huge deal. And these pizza ovens older than 2016 are just so dirty that I think paying $10K to reduce those emissions is a pretty good deal, and you would benefit a lot of New Yorkers. So I thought New York City would take this normally. I didn't think it'd be a huge deal. I was so wrong. This guy showed up to City Hall with a pizza. You can't really hear it. What he's saying is, "Give me pizza or give me death."
But then he's throwing it, so he's undermining himself.
He fully chucks it, and you'll see later. He doesn't throw the box, because that would be littering. He has reinforcements. He has more pizza.
Oh, man.
He just kept doing this, and 297 more pizzas, and he could buy them a scrubber.
Yeah.
With his money.
Yeah, exactly.
He's almost there.
The rats of City Hall will be so happy.
Oh my god, genetically modified to love pizza. I think that later this guy, NYPD tried to chase him down as they did with the beavers. They really will take anyone except the real criminals out.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, no one took this normally, apparently. That's not a thing we do in New York City. But if you're one of those New Yorkers who has a job, anyone here have a job? Okay. And you can't just show up to City Hall at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday and chuck pizza across the door. There's another way you can participate in government. I think that this is one of the most beautiful parts of local government that's left, and it's called public comment. Say it with me, public comment.
Public
Comment.
Public comment is this beautiful concept where anytime there's a new law proposed, you can go online and type your thoughts straight into a box that a city government official on paid time has to read. It's a lot of fun, and you can imagine in New York, this pizza rule got a lot of fun public comments. I'm just going to walk you through maybe 5 out of thousands of public comments that were submitted. You can read this at your will. It's so much fun. My favorite one is just so wholesome. Brad Gertzman spoke up on behalf of the New York City Pizza Alliance, which is a thing. I would love to know what they usually talk about. I want to know their opinion on pineapple on pizza. But it's really beautiful when actual stakeholders participate in this process, and I'm so glad the New York City Pizza Alliance made themselves heard, right? I do think if you're going to bring in stakeholders, another really important one to bring in is Pizza Rat. I think he holds a place in politics. And I also think we should bring in the guy who played Pizza Rat as performance art and made it a job. I think he has something to say that none of us will know.
Squeak now or forever hold your pizza.
Pizza, yeah.
If he could type with his fingers, I'm sure that's what he would say. There are also some people who catastrophized a little bit. This guy said if this rule goes through, New York pizza will become dead on arrival, implying that without this rule, the pizza's alive on arrival. I don't know. I looked up DOA. That's all it means. I couldn't find any other interpretations of DOA. So I think this guy thinks pizza's dead. Some people offered to leave the city off of this. I'll leave the city. I'll give up on New York. I'll just another reason to live in New York. I honestly feel if pollution is what keeps you in New York, we have some talking to do. There's so many reasons to stay here except pollution.
We have the best pollution of any city in the world.
Just number one, baby. New York or nowhere. I also really love people who brought up, and I actually really believe, maybe this is not the biggest issue we have to deal with. People brought up, is this really what city government should be focusing their time on? Can we focus on diesel trucks, maybe, which do have a lot of emissions? Or can we focus on the NYPD tolerance towards unlawful activities like scooters without plates? I actually think if you put a license plate on one of these scooters, it's gonna hurt so much more when a teenager crashes into you at 100 miles per hour on their city bike 100 miles per hour scooter. But to each their own. Someone thinks this is a huge problem, so someone in government should fix this too, I guess. I also love the people who actually just thought this law was getting rid of pizza altogether, which seems like a Andrew Cuomo type of mayoral platform.
That's a valid reason to leave.
Right. If they were getting rid of pizza, I just had a slice 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, she did.
It's maybe still on my teeth. That's fine. But yeah, he said, I really like the pizza, don't get rid of it. Save the ZA, save the New York City pizza, save the pizza, it's mad good. I agree with all these people. I just think they missed the point a little. I think that there was a rule, if there was a rule saying we were canceling pizza total for reals, the uprising would be crazy. My favorite one is this person who just totally thought this was Yelp. Nice ambiance, nice food, nice staff. I would warm back. I would still love you if you were warming back into whatever you thought we were doing here. But public comment, someone on paid time had to read this and put this into a report. I'm really glad I don't work in city government. Okay, my absolute favorite one is this guy, and I'm going to read this whole thing out to you because it's so important to me. William Smith said at least should be seniority amongst consider under preservation. genre of those establishments. Running should be preserved among its form of art. Law shouldn't apply only except for any new establishment. Yeah. New York City agreed. Thou disagree with another law. Takes from any left. Id NYC old world. You got
Is
it?
that an iambic pentameter? I was going to say, Will Smith has a lot to say.
Will Smith of the Renaissance, obviously. Does anyone know what this is referring to? Like what this reference is from? Okay, silence, because me too, I honestly didn't know. So I Googled it, and you can tell I clicked on every single link. They're all purple. And the first Google result just showed this guy himself. So I think he invented a sentence, like he previously unsaid sentences in the human language. The second result that showed up was a Trump case from a couple weeks ago. And remember, this whole pizza thing happened years ago. So it terrifies me that the Trump administration and our courts are now citing New York City's finest nut jobs in legal precedents.
Well,
So
the defendant was one.
I don't want to think about this, but you too can be part of a Trump lawsuit. Then one of the search results said maybe this is related to MLK's letter from Birmingham jail.
Also, Thomas Aquinas. Oh my goodness. The citations on this comment.
It's only missing 2 of the words. Apparently, it has all the other ones. I couldn't find them, but that's what Google says. And finally, it said maybe this is related to why PEMDAS alone is not enough.
It's not enough.
Sure.
It's not enough. I just want to remind you that I work at Clean Energy at Google. I just keep the lights on. I don't work on search. But you can knock yourself out on search. They're doing great things. Anyways, the New York Post had a field day with this. They brought up this guy who said it's ethnic discrimination to force New York City pizzerias and matzo makers to comply with this new bill. Of course, can anyone guess where this guy was from? Close. Staten Island.
Yeah.
Almost the same thing. Assemblyman Sam Pirozzolo. And the New York Post often will quote really weird or strange people, but I don't even think this is a real guy. I actually think he is just pizza rolls. I think he's he's pizza rolls in a trench coat. Sam, pizza roll.
Unfortunately, it really is the thing you have to say in that really offensive Italian accent. I'm not gonna. But
I'm gonna
we all
have a
know
target
what
on my
it is.
back from this guy. It's okay. I have a few more. Speaking of targets on my back, let me bring it back to my favorite man, Eric Adams, who, after the guy threw pizza over City Hall, he basically said, I want to talk to this guy, tell him to, come talk to me, bring me a vegan pie, and, let's hear his side of this. I love when Eric Adams brings up vegan pies because some people seem to think we elected this vegan activist as mayor, but this guy eats fish. He gets the fish, he orders fish, he loves fish. But his campaign is so obsessed with convincing us that he's vegan that one of his spokespeople said that Eric Adams, at a dinner that he went to with his buddies, he got the eggplant parm, hold the parm, which I think is just eggplant. Anyways, I did go and speak to CNN. It did all work out. This is the article that Elon Musk and Marsha Blackburn and all those other conservatives were also featured on, talking about how this was woke gone crazy. I tried to bring light to the fact that it's the people who work in the pizzerias who are facing these emissions the most, and I think those people are essential workers in this city. And so a rule like this, which will clean up the environment for the people who are really serving us our finest, is really important. So that's really what I tried to bring up. Unfortunately, Eric Adams brought up a similar point. I've never agreed with that man in my life, but I think that him agreeing with me makes me the mayor of New York. So, thank you. I went ahead and just changed my Venmo to NYC mayor.
This is real.
No, this is real.
This is real.
Yeah. They Venmoed me, I Venmoed them. NYC mayor, you can hit me up. I'm taking tips. I'm also really hoping that one day, Eric Adams' billionaire buddies try to skirt campaign finance laws, and instead of donating on Act Blue, they just try to Venmo him. So I'm trying to get a cut.
A slice.
A slice. Any way you slice it, yeah, a bit of the dough, really.
Hey. Get a piece of the action. Sorry, go ahead.
There's mushroom around here for these jokes.
Hey.
Hey.
After Eric Adams kind of started doing things that I thought were maybe on the right track. I was like, maybe I believe in this guy. And then while I was making these slides last night, I got this breaking news alert that his campaign is trying to hand cash to journalists in like a potato chip bag. It's extremely comical. So I don't really know where we stand anymore. So really when it comes back to like this crowd of people, Elon, Marsha, Dave Portnoy, me, Eric Adams, like, I don't know if anyone of us is fit to run the city, but I feel like when it comes to making decisions, we just give it to this guy.
Yeah.
He knows what's up, and none of the other ones do. That's all for me, folks.
Yeah.